Map fans, welcome back. Today we're looking at QGIS advanced styles, and we've got something a little bit different. We have a special guest, Topi, all the way from Finland. Let's go. Hi Topi, how's it going? Thanks a lot for
Hey,
being here today.
hey, I'm fine, thanks.
Good to hear. For those of you that don't know Topi, if you're in geospatial and on Twitter, you have probably seen his post. Topi, you have got an amazing output. You've put together some really cool styles, and you also work on mapdreamer, which is incredibly mesmerizing. So, if you just want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. I'm sitting in Helsinki, Finland. I live here, I work here. I work in a company called GISPO, GISPO. We work on open source geospatial things. So we do software development consulting and whatever comes with the Phos4G things. Before this, I've been working in the same field for a while, but now my hobbies and work are intertwined in a very good way. So I can mix them up. I hope my boss doesn't see this video, but yeah. But yeah, I like because we do, for example, work with QGIS. If I work on something with QGIS, learn something on the way, and bring visibility to company and so forth. So yeah, it's all intertwined.
Could you tell me a little bit more about mapdreamer? Because I'm fascinated by how that works.
So it's, let's say, it's one of those things that are less involved in my real work. It
Mm.
was more of a purely started out purely as a hobby thing that I wanted to explore. So I had already seen online many people doing really interesting artistic stuff with the guns. So in a really nutshell way, I could say that, like, with machine learning, teaching machines how to produce certain type of images. So you might have seen something with dogs or cars or with human faces, how they morph.
Mhm.
And I hadn't seen anyone at that point do it with maps. And because I work with maps, I like maps. I thought it was like a logical thing to try out. So I took quite a long while, the whole project, because I was doing it on the side.
Mhm.
But then first I collected a lot of old maps. I normalized them to a certain size. Then I used a style gun to um, basically to uh, teach how to produce the map images. And yeah, if you're about to ask what's the point, is there isn't one really. It was something I wanted to learn, something I wanted to say. It was more of an artistic project.
Well, you say, what's the point? But I guess, I don't know, you could ask that about a lot of
Yeah,
artistic.
yeah,
If the point
exactly,
is
exactly.
keep me glued to Twitter and rewatching GIFs of
Yeah,
somebody else, then you've definitely achieved it.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, art seems to be a big driver in what you're doing, and some of these styles that you put out. Obviously, the Clint one, which is proving really popular on
Mm.
social media. Talk us through that. How did you put that together?
Uh, Quite often when someone asks something like that, I'm disappointed in myself that there isn't a big idea behind it all. But maybe one driver was that I just recently realized that, because I like to make different type of maps with QGIS.
Mhm.
Uh, just recently I realized that it's super. Why not share the styles? So I've been experimenting with different type of cartographic styles already for a longer time, and then I realized that why not try and make something really generic, and then share it with others. And why, for example, that style looks like it looks. I think trying out different things with the expressions is something that QGIS is really powerful with,
Yeah.
and that can I like the that it's kind of in between looking exactly like like the objects, and some of the objects are by random replaced with a bounding box or with a circle, and also the colors are somewhat random, but still limited to a certain palette. So.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, with all that in mind, would you like to show us a bit of your screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Here's my QGIS, and quite often when I start making some of these tiles, or let's say cartographic experiments,
Mm-hmm.
I use natural earth data. If someone is not familiar with natural earth, it's basically pretty freely licensed. I think it's CC0 even, but anyhow, it has anything you need for basic cartographic stuff, on a very general level. So it's not OpenStreetMap for analysis purposes or something like that. But if you need countries of the world as polygons, this is the place to go. So getting the whole data is around 500 megs in a geo package. So I highly recommend using that. I have connected to the geo package in my QGIS. I have a fresh profile here, so everything should look pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
Then usually I just open up a map layer, and then if we imagine that I would be making a new style, usually I play around with having multiple layers in the style. So that's one trick, and then another trick is to play with the expressions. So if I do really quickly something like as a dummy style, let's put a random marker fill, and let's put a density based count, a bit more points in there, and let's see how it looks now. Yeah, so I'm having those points appearing there, and then this might be actually something that if you're a beginner with QGIS, understanding the structure of this this tree might take a little while, but you'll get a hang of it once you try. Let's do like a flame style. So let's put an SVG marker. Let's adjust the styles, the symbol size. So this is if someone is interested in learning more about the expressions, Nyall Dawson just made a really good video about that. But basically everywhere in here where you see a black arrow, you can insert an expression.
I'll put a link to Niall's awesome mammoth video. I think it came in at about 1 hour 20, something like that.
Yeah.
it's a real deep dive on how these expressions work, but a really powerful way to style your maps.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a place where I constantly learn new stuff myself, browsing through here. But for example, now I put for the simple size, I entered random expression. So this returns a random value between 1 and 6. I put that in the size. Let's change the SVG marker, by the way. Let's put flames in there. Yeah. So now if I apply, you see that I get this flame symbols of different sizes.
Very good. World is on fire.
Yeah. Then I'll put another expression. It takes a little while to write.
Okay, so this is going to randomize the color by the looks of it.
Yes. Usually if you're inserting an expression, this is really useful that you see the output preview here. Once it makes sense, you know that you're good to go. So like you noticed, this one randomizes the colors. So basically this color expects to have an RGB A value. So I'll click OK, and then you'll see what happens. Yeah, so now it looks more like
flaming.
more flamey, yeah.
So we've got red, green, blue there, and for anyone who's wondering what the A is, can you just explain what the A does?
Yeah, that's an alpha value, so basically means how transparent each symbol is.
Mm-hmm.
So now, because I'm with this, I'm trying to be perfectionist. Now, if this wouldn't be a recording, I would tweak and tweak and tweak, because this I'm not quite happy with this. But now, if I would do a style here that I would be happy with, I would like to share it. Then I would go back to my properties. There might be other workflows to do this, but now once I'm happy with what you can see here, I'll just click on Save Symbol. Then I'll give it a name, Flames. You can add some tags if you wish, something that's that can help you define it later on. Then save, okay. Then if you go to Style Manager, which is here on top of your screen, you can find it here. By default, you're looking at the at favorites, which are marked as favorites. But if you go to all, then you can find it there.
Very nice.
And then from here, you can export it, and you can export it to it exports it to an XML file, the type of XML files that I've been sharing on GitHub.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. So when you've shared those onto GitHub, should we take a look at your GitHub repo now? See what
yeah, sure. So it looks like this at the time of recording. The images are quite big, but they're here to give you an idea what's what the current styles are about. Yep. So currently I have four different styles here with the preview images, and it says here that these are created with QGIS 3.12, but some of them also work with older versions if you modify the XML by hand, but they work out of the box for the latest one.
Yeah. All right.
Then there's also a video how to import them, but you will later in the video you see another way to do it. But for to make it easy to use the styles, I've added this metadata file here. Mm-hmm. So basically that consists of metadata information of the styles, of my contact information, of which versions it supports, and so forth. And this metadata file is because of QGIS resource sharing plugin, mm-hmm. and that allows it to find it.
So have you tested this repo with resource sharing already, Topi?
Yeah, I have. So I haven't done a pull request to the actual resource sharing, so it's not there by default. But for resource sharing plugin, you can add your own repos. Mm-hmm. So if you take this here and add that to resource sharing, that works. Then it finds it, and okay. then it basically loads the styles to your own machine. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to use the resource sharing plugin, then you can also just use them directly through an URL, like you can see from this video, or you can download them as a zip and use them in that way. So multiple different options.
Okay, cool. So I'll put a link to that video as well. Lots and lots of links going on in this in this video so far. But do you want to walk me through how to get this into resource sharing then? And we'll do that on my screen, I think. So I have a project up. It's not saved yet, so it's not actually a project. Just plugged it together. So we've got OSM buildings in here, and it is Santiago. I figured that Chile was kind of a typical QLimt shape. So, but then just focused on Santiago afterwards. And then up here, I've got the resource sharing plugin as well. So I'll open that up to start with. And here we go. So how would I go about adding your repo to this topic?
So if you go first, unless you already have it on your clipboard, the address, first you need to go to the repo. And if you click on the clone or download, and copy paste that address, the one with the ending git,
that should be fine. Then back to Q. Okay.
Then there's a button, yes, add repository.
What should we call this?
You can decide.
I'll just call it Topi.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. And I
paste it.
There. Yeah.
Yep. Then you don't need any authentication because it's public, open. So then you just click. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And there we go.
There you can see it.
That's fantastic. And all right, so I've got this QGIS style collection in my resource sharing plugin. The next stage would be to install that collection, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so that's the ones that I've got installed so far. But if I go to all collections and then down to, let's have a look. Let's search for Topi. There we go. And hit install.
Yeah. Seems like my preview image doesn't yet work there, but that.
That's a little placeholder.
Yeah.
I am in Q 3.10 as well. You're aware. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. So one thing is that there's I think the resource sharing plugin, because although it's designed to share all types of resources, I don't think it's originally anyone was thinking to just share the style XML. So I think it detects and works with QML style files like really well. But at least when I was trying, I needed to like get them. It basically just loads them on your disk to the collections folder, but you need to still add them by hand.
Okay, all right. So if I open up the folder, that's going to show me where these guys are?
Should work, yeah.
Okay, let's do that then. All right, so we've got these XML. Should we go for the qlimt or QLimt?
Yeah, you could do so that you copy paste the folder if you take that.
Got that.
Then if you can close this one, the resource sharing. Then if you go to Style Manager, and then if you go to Import, Export, Import, then import from, you can, browse. Yeah, because now it would be really difficult to go there, but now once you have it there, you can just.
All right.
Yeah.
And let's bring in QLimt. Okay. There it is. So we have got a tag of QLimt. I'm going to add it to my favorites. And we shall put the artist signature on there as well. It's got Topi on there too. And then I don't have the import option yet, so presumably I have to select that. Yeah.
Yep.
Select the style, import it.
Yes.
Oh, looks like somebody's been testing this. All right, so now I've imported that. Where to next?
Then you basically have it ready for your own use. So you can see it if you click on all, or if you search for it from the bottom right corner. You should.
If I go down to tags, it needs a capital Q, I think, for that.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you're good to go.
Excellent. let's do some styling.
Yeah. So then if you go to your layer properties.
Mm-hmm. And then are we single symbol categorized?
Single symbol.
Okay.
There on the bottom you see all the styles that you have imported. So you could use the search bar there.
I can see it already. There's qlimt or qlimt.
Yep.
Let's add that in and okay that.
Yep.
Santiago is getting a makeover. Wow. And it seems to work fine with 3.10 as well.
Yeah, it should.
Very cool. It's taken a while on my old machine, but let's zoom in a bit. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. And there's tons of these about on Twitter at the moment. It's proving really popular, isn't it?
yeah. It's really fun to see it done from different places, from different countries with different data sets, and then how much it changes when somebody changes the background color or the frame. And just today I saw one printed and it looked completely different. And
oh wow, okay. Fascinating. So yeah, I mean, hopefully these are going to inspire people to start creating their own styles as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, and if someone wants to build on that, wants to modify the geometries in a different way, or change the palettes or something, I'm happy to see work built on top of what I've done.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Topi. Is there anything else that you wanted to go over today to introduce us to?
No, I don't think so. I think this was like a fun piece to show and fun thing to talk about.
Excellent. All right. So if you haven't already, do follow Topi on Twitter, and you can keep track of more amazing styles that are coming out. I saw the 80s style the other day. That looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think I should post that one.
Yeah.
with neon colors and gradients.
Yeah, man, it looks a lot of fun. Good. All right. Well, thanks ever so much for your time, Topi. That's been educational, and look forward to talking to you again.
Thanks a lot. Real pleasure.